when I was in before, it wasn't that. It was the good old boy club. You could see the people that were getting promoted, and you're going, how the fuck did you get ahead of him when that person has more time and rank and grade and points than this person here? It's because they would fucking sham that person to get the next person in because he was number 6 or 7, so they sham all the rest and get the other ones they want. I don't play that game. You deserve it, you deserve it. But now they're really, I don't want to be the type of guy to say that people don't deserve it because you get your 5s, you deserve it. I get that. And I'm not going to ever go up to someone and go, you don't deserve that. That's not fair to them. That's not fair.
No.
But the system, it's when you get your 5s, there's people getting it at 3 years. You can't grow in 3 years from a private first class to a specialist to a 5. I don't believe in that. They're still learning. I'm still learning. But how do you get to where you are as a specialist? Let's say they come in as a specialist and they got 3 years in. I'm sorry, but you didn't learn a specialist job if you're doing 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year for 3 years. That's not enough time. I'm not saying it's bad. And I got no disrespect to anyone else out there that's got it in 3 years. That's fine.
Yeah.
Great, good for them. But there has to be, I think there should be more of a requirement that you should be a specialist for this long before you get your sergeant stripes. And it should be longer than 3 years. Now, don't get me wrong. There's always a time where someone actually, like we have one guy in here who's phenomenal, and I don't understand why he's not a 5 or a 6. You know, it goes both ways. You know, I think you could say it goes case by case, which I agree with, but you have to have a baseline somewhere. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Does in my head.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I have a question that I haven't asked, period. So I had someone who approached me before we even came on this deployment, and they asked me questions about the military, Army specifically,
Don't
obviously.
do it.
And, well, so he wanted to join.
Yep.
Okay. Apparently, his friend had already signed up. He signed up for infantry, and his mother had. He wanted to sign up, but when he told other people that he wanted to sign up, everyone just discouraged him from joining. And the only person that was kind of like on the fence, but was able to say bring him in or lead him in the right direction was her. And she was just like, "Hey, I have a favor to ask because you're the only one I know who's actually active military right now. Can you talk to my son and just kind of feel him out and explain to him what you guys do?" And I had to, I'm gonna get into what I said, but I want to hear what you. If someone were to approach you saying, "Hey, what is the Army about, and what can you tell me about it?" But obviously, you can't give me finer details, obviously.
First of all, I get where he's coming from.
Okay.
And I'll tell you a little story. Yes, I'm a storyteller, but I'm going to tell you point blank. I was with the guys that played pool at Mr. Billiards, and I found out later they had bets on if I would actually make it through basic training.
Oh shit! Really?
Yes, or how far I would make it.
Okay.
So I know this for a fact. That dude right there needs to fucking get out of that friends and say, you know what, I'm doing this for me. Don't do it for anyone else, because in the end, he's the one that's doing it, not them. He's the one that's going to have the pride. He's the one that's going to have the memories.
Right.
So what would I tell them? I'd be like, if you're looking for something, let me back up. If you're looking to do something after high school and you don't want to spend money on college, go in the military, try something that you think looks fun, and try it. If you don't like it, try another one.
So, but as far as description goes, what would you explain what the military is like?
Sucks. You're gonna learn to embrace the suck.
Yep.
You're gonna have more fun afterwards thinking about it than in the moment.
100%.
If he can learn that, or she, he can go anywhere in life. That's 95% of it right there. Everything sucks until you look back and you go, oh, that was fucking fun, actually.
So the reason why I bring it up is because he had no idea what the military was about.
It's
Like at all.
It's teamwork, camaraderie. It's having someone to watch your back while you watch somebody else's, right?
Yes, but no, I'm saying like the basic of basic. He didn't know what it was. He literally did not know what the military did.
He had no clue.
No clue. That's why I'm saying. How would you describe? I'm not saying the camaraderie.
So
I'm not saying the
basic
inside.
training-wise-
I'm saying the whole picture. If
Oh,
you were
it's-
described to someone what the army is, what is our purpose?
It's a big fuck. Our purpose is basically to fucking do what we're told.
In yes, but give me more finer details.
You're basically gonna get a mission. You're gonna get told what to do. I don't even know what you're asking here.
Okay, all right. So I'll cut to the chase. So basically, he did not know that we go to war.
What? Wait. Did you tell him you were Army or National Guard?
Does it matter?
Yes, it does. Because actually, some people don't believe National Guard thinks that National Guard just stays in the country and doesn't go to war. That's a misconception. I do know people that have said you actually go overseas.
Okay. Well, regardless of National
Yeah.
Guard, active duty, whatever the case was, I'm speaking military specifically.
Okay.
He did not know that we go to war and protect our country and fight the enemy.
Okay.
So when I tried to explain that to him, he's just like, "So you guys shoot people?" And I'm like, "I didn't say me specifically, but I was just like, that is the sole purpose of going to war to protect our country, which means getting into
skirmishes.
skirmishes." Yeah, it's a nicer way of saying it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And I'm like, "So your buddy signed up for what?" He's just like, "Oh, he went infantry." I'm like, "Well, infantry goes on the front line."
Yep.
So he literally signed up to fight, and he's just like, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, "So you should probably do your research before you sign up for something that you have no idea what we do."
And what's he doing now?
I talked him out of it within 10 seconds.
So he didn't sign a contract?
He didn't, but his friend did, and he had no idea what he signed up for. He signed up for infantry, and he did not know what infantry was because he's like, "I don't even think my buddy knows what this is."
That's
I'm
a fault.
like,
That's a fault on the recruiter. That's a fault on the recruiter. That's not fair to him. He took advantage of him blatantly right there.
"Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yep.
100% sure he did."
Because I know a lot of the recruiters, and a lot of them are very honest people. But
Yes.
there is also those people that are not honest and they just care about numbers.
I mean, granted, obviously we're speaking for different MOSs, but as a whole, that is the sole purpose of
Yeah, I get what you're
the
saying.
United States military is to.
I didn't know
basically
that's
go to
what you
war.
were looking for.
That's why I was saying I'm like, I need simple answer.
We fight.
we
go to war.
fight. We go to war.
And we drink heavily.
That is the sole purpose of the military.
And we drink very heavily. Very heavily.
Yes.
Actually,
So-
Katrina, we had a big keg party. There was like 4 or 5 kegs when we got off the plane.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, we drink a lot, and it's a lot of it has to do. Well, it's funny because you say, speaking of drinking a lot. So before basic training, I was very much I wouldn't say a goody two shoe, but like I didn't barely swore, I barely drank.
that goes out the window the second you hit basic training.
Like my potty mouth, everything was like times 10. I came back swearing like a sailor. I came back drinking like a sailor. It's just
So-
like that. Like, what happened to you at my basic training?
It's funny because my current wife, love her to death, she looks at me like every time I come back from the military, and sometimes I don't catch myself and I'll be swearing, and she's like, "Dude, your mouth on." I'm like, "Oh crap."
So my first podcast. Well, not my first podcast. My first group podcast. I had a buddy of mine who is now retired military. He didn't stay in for that long, but he comes on and I'm saying swears like every other sentence because that's just like I'm not filtering myself. I'm just talking just to talk.
Yeah.
And it was more like kind of like a practice
Right.
podcast, whatever. So we're just shooting the shit. And his I guess he decided to play it. I don't know if he had it on speakerphone in front of his dad. Oh my god! He's just like, who? He's like, who is that talking? He's like, oh, that's my buddy Josh. He's just like, he swears a lot.
That's fucking hilarious.
And I'm like, yeah. He's just like, well, number one, he's military, and number two, he's a mechanic, and he's just like, that explains it. And I'm like, sorry.
I think I've actually got in trouble, even at work, not where I work now, beforehand, for swearing too much. I
Yeah,
was like, is that a fucking problem?
I have to filter myself around my mother and my grandparents because my mother is very much like, virgin ears, and then my grandparents are very like, my grandfather's not so bad, but my grandmother, God forbid, she'd probably have a heart attack if she heard my mouth.
So, when I got out of the military, back in 2013-ish, my son was around, and one of the first words he said was, fuck.
I literally, I was talking to, my ex-girlfriend,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I'm like, if I ever have a kid, I guarantee the first word that baby's gonna learn is fuck.
It's not his first word. His first word was dad, mama, and fuck, and then my balls. And he would literally stand up and go, my balls. It was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good shit. Yeah. I have no doubt that baby's first words are gonna end up being fuck.
It's okay. It might be.
Yeah.
It could be shit.
It could be shit. Yeah.
And then the funny thing we had, so a little story about basic training. So I went to basic training twice.
I was gonna ask you about that because I remember you because I heard you say you came back, but this is something I did not know. So go on.
So I went, the first time I went was 2004 to 2005. The second time I went was 2020, March of 2020, and I got out, I think, June-ish, something like that. I
So
don't
what was the
remember.
reason you got out the first time?
My son. I
okay.
went and reclassed as 88 Mike. When I went to see him again,
Yep.
he didn't know who I was and ran away from me. It took me a good half hour for him to realize who I was.
That sucks.
So, hey, the Xbox got blown up, so it's not even working, guys. Yeah, that's why it's up there.
Is there any more systems?
There's a PlayStation in there right now, but if someone's on it, then that's the only. We got that and the Switch. So,
Thank you.
no problem.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. So, I got out because that was
kid.
the kid. So when he turned 11, I'm not going to say his name, but I ran into my friend of mine that was in the military. He still is. I'm not going to say his name because his brother had passed away. I'm not just going to say it like that.
Right.
So I could see that he was in the dumps. I go, hey man, you want some rum? He goes, yeah, I could always take rum. I go, dude, I got like a liter of fucking Captain Morgan's. You want it? Yeah. So we go back out to the car. I give him the liter, and who shows up? My old commander, who's now a lieutenant colonel.
Oh shit.
Yeah, which I was like, hey, nice job.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
cool.
He even named his son after me. I was like, no, he's the same name, but I was like, hey, you named your son after me?
That's
he didn't
funny.
like that joke. He didn't think it was funny. So he goes, hey, you want to come back in? So to me, I'm like, no. He goes, why don't you come back in? He goes, I can throw money your way from coming back in. And I'm like, so he's asking me to come back in. That's how I took that.
Yeah.
And I look at the guy, my friend, and I said, you know what, I'll look into it, but I'm pretty sure I'm overweight. And he looks at me and goes, I don't think you are. Which I wasn't. So I came back in. So I signed the papers, and then I get by the way, don't panic, but you might have to go back to basic. I'm going, excuse me?
Because you were out for so many years.
I was out for longer than 5. I was out for 6.5. If I actually stayed out for 7, I would have had to go back to AIT. Which
Oh, really?
I think it would have been a better idea for me to go back to AIT because the trucks have changed in the 6.5 years since I got out.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's even the starting systems are all different.
Yeah.
So, so what I did was I went to basic training, got treated very well the second time. It was COVID, so it was like nobody was on the top bunk. We showered every other stall. I mean, we didn't give a shit. We just did whatever. And they're just like, you got to do it this way. We didn't go for we went 2.5 weeks in a different barracks. Excuse me. Basically, we lived in the other barracks because the old barracks we were in was contaminated. I guess I don't know why they moved us out, but they moved us into a different barracks where It was so many people per room. It wasn't an open bay, and nobody was above us.
Okay.
And we had a sheet of plastic on the left side of our bed. I was
Shit.
I was like, what the hell is that going to do? I mean, if I masturbate, I just can't blow it this way. That was the joke when we were there. My dad hears this, is going to be pissed, but that's okay.